The World Cup is here, and it's time to show how much you really know. We've prepared 35 questions that will test your memory and your passion for this historic tournament. Are you ready for the challenge? Let's get started. When was the first World Cup in history held? In 1930. Where was the first World Cup held? In Uruguay. How often is the World Cup held? Every 4 years. Including the 2026 World Cup, how many editions have been held? 23 editions. What was the name of the cup that was awarded until 1970? Jules Rimet, in honor of the creator of the tournament. Who scored the first goal in the history of the World Cups? The Frenchman Lucien Laurent on July 13th, 1930. It was against Mexico and happened in the 19th minute of the match. France won 4-1, and that goal made Laurent a celebrity. In which World Cup were yellow and red cards introduced for the first time? In Mexico, 1970. The idea came from something as ordinary as a traffic light. Before the cards, the matches turned into real brawls. Which is the only national team that has participated in every World Cup? Brazil. Which national team does this crest belong to? It's the crest of Japan. How many national teams will participate in the 2026 World Cup? The 2026 World Cup will be the first with 48 teams. That's 16 more teams than in recent editions. Where will the final of the 2026 World Cup be held? At MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, just a few kilometers from New York. Is this the first time Mexico is hosting a World Cup? True or false? That's false. It will be the third time Mexico is hosting. 1970, 1986, and now 2026. No other country has done it 3 times. What's the name of the 2026 World Cup ball? Trionda. What are the names of the 2026 World Cup mascots? Mabel, Sayu, and Clutch. Which national team does this jersey belong to? It's France's jersey. Which national team has won the most World Cups? Brazil is the national team that has won the most World Cups, with 5 titles in total. Who won the 2022 World Cup? Argentina, in a historic final that ended 3-3 after 120 minutes and was decided by a penalty shootout. One of the most exciting finals ever seen in a World Cup. Which player has won the most World Cups? The Brazilian Pelé with 3 titles. Which national team has played the most finals without winning any? The Netherlands. They reached the final in 1974, 1978, and 2010. On all 3 occasions, they finished as runners-up. How many goals were scored in the highest scoring match in World Cup history? 12 goals. In the 1954 World Cup, Austria beat Switzerland 7-5 in a real goal fest, which, more than half a century later, remains the highest scoring match in the history of the tournament. Which World Cup final had the most goals in history? Sweden 1958 with 7 goals. Which World Cup had the highest number of goals? Qatar 2022 with 172 goals. Which national team does this crest belong to? It's the crest of Colombia. Who is the top scorer in World Cup history? Germany's Miroslav Klose. Who is the player who has played the most World Cup matches? Lionel Messi with 26 matches. Who is the player with the most goals scored in finals? Kylian Mbappe has a total of 4 goals scored in finals. What award is given to the best player of the World Cup? The Golden Ball. Who scored the winning goal for Spain in the final in South Africa in 2010? Andres Iniesta scored in the 116th minute, giving Spain its first World Cup. Which national team does this jersey belong to? It's Mexico's jersey. Which player scored the famous goal of the century in 1986? Diego Armando Maradona. Which national team did Brazil play against in the match known as the Maracanazo? Against Uruguay. In which World Cup was VAR used for the first time? In Russia 2018? What was the first official mascot in the history of the World Cups? World Cup Willie, the mascot of the 1966 World Cup. What was the name of the mascot for the 1970 World Cup? Juanito. Who scored the decisive penalty in the shootout that gave Argentina the title in the Qatar 2022 final?
Gonzalo Montiel.
We've reached the final question of the video, and probably the most important one. Who will be the next world champion? Write your favorite team in the comments and come back at the end of the tournament to see if you were right. Good luck to everyone, and may the best team win.